Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 253. Thank you so much for being here with me. I, of course, just got done with doing Tae Bo and it was awesome and I'm just in such a great mood. I mean, it just puts me in the best mood. So I highly recommend you guys try it, as I'm going to say in most videos probably. So today I wanted to share something that's different from what I've ever shared. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I've been in chiropractic care since I was about 18 years old. And when I was born, I was pulled out of my mom with forceps. They used to do that. I don't think they do that anymore, of course. And so it kind of messed up my neck a little bit. I have a reverse curve. So basically my neck is, it's kind of like straight and then it curves over a little bit now. So it's like really, my neck is really, really straight, but curved a little bit. So it's got like, I can't really, bend my neck back very much. It hurts at times. I've got disc degeneration in it a little bit, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. So when I was 18, I had a really bad wreck and started seeing a chiropractor. And so there are at least 3 different methods I know of that they use. One is manual with their hands and they crack you and move you around and do all that stuff. So that's what I started out with. Then they have this little spring activated handheld thing called the activator, and I used that for years and years as well. And then about 4 years ago, I switched chiropractors and to one that was closer to where I live, and they use the integrator, which is basically like the activator, but it's got more torque to it, and I've never had anything work as well as this does. These adjustments are literally like, I don't know, 30 seconds long, if that. It's crazy. Never helped more than, it has helped more than anything I've ever had before. Sorry, my cat's knocking stuff off the bookshelf. So anyway, they do, at this place, they do a thermal scan on your spine. And so this will have a point to it, I promise. So it's something that is NASA technology, actually. And they used it to measure astronaut spinal health. So I'm just going to kind of read this. It measures skin temperature, variations along the spine to detect autonomic nervous system stress, inflammation, and potential vertebral subluxations. That's a mouthful. So we are looking at areas of dysfunction where temperatures differ between the right and left sides of the spine. So I've been having this done for a little over 4 years at this place. And when I first went, everything was red. It was terrible. I've got my old scan. I probably need to show that one too, but I wanted to show the two to compare the last 6 months and show you the craziness. But the color, there's different colors it shows. So red is severe, blue is moderate, yellow is mild, and white is normal. Let me know if you guys have ever had this done, because it's pretty cool. And then the data of this, the scan provides a snapshot of how the nervous system is responding to care. Okay, so everything is a snapshot, of course. Get into that in a second. So my scan from July looked like this. I've never held anything up with the light on this, and I hope that you can see this. So there's a lot of red. I was very stressed back in July. There's a lot of stuff going on in my life back then. Someday I might talk about it, but there's a lot going on. And I was on YouTube at that time. So this was my scan. Pretty bad. And then we have the best scan that I've ever had since going there, which looks like this. And we just have one red spot. The white means everything is pretty much in balance and communicating properly. Can you believe this? And the neck area is where I have disc degeneration. So, this looks absolutely, I hope you could see this, the difference. It is just crazy. And you hold them up, trying not to show. Okay, there we go. And hope that you can see this, I hope. So, these are just snapshots in time. But again, this was the best I've ever had, and I haven't even had an adjustment in a couple weeks because of the snow. So, wanted to share that because, not only because I love chiropractic care and it's just helped me so much, but my point is that I have never worked on myself as much as I have the last, I would say, 6 months. I've been, of course, doing self-care, working on myself, doing all these things, changing my mind, changing my mindset, changing my thoughts, changing my beliefs. But I will say that doing YouTube and talking about this stuff every single day with you guys has thoroughly changed me. As you can see, this was a real physical, proof that this is working on my nervous system. And so I wanted to give you guys some hope and some excitement maybe that when you guys work on your thoughts and your belief systems and you invest in yourself, big things will happen. And because I really thought that I was going to have a terrible scan. I don't know why. I've had like these bad scans for a couple years now, because the last time I had a scan, it was right after I had surgery. So I had all these medicines in me and it was bad. But this scan, I mean, it blows me away. So, but as I said, I've been doing these videos. I've been practicing what I preach. I always do that. I tell all my clients, everything I tell them to do, I've done and I'm doing. And so I just want to share that with you guys, that this stuff works when you change your identity, when you work on yourself and the way you see yourself. I've been speaking to myself nicely all these months. I've been doing things that bring me joy on purpose. I've been figuring out what really lights me up, what excites me. I've been doing more of what I love. I've been passing on my heart in all these videos. These videos are my heart. I don't get paid for these videos. Someday I might. I don't know. We'll see. But like, I don't get paid for these videos. I don't get anything from it, except I know that somebody out there is, hopefully, I intend that somebody's getting some sort of value or help or something that you or they can take and know that you're worthy of love. You're worthy of a wonderful life. No matter what you think right now, you can change things tomorrow if you wanted to. You can change things instantly. Things happen all the time behind the scenes. And I was talking to a client today about trusting in the unseen instead of what we see, because what we see is very, very, very sneaky. And it's showing us some stuff that we just buy into all the time. And I'm like, put your investment of your focus and your time and your consciousness and your awareness into what you can't see, which is that end result. Live from the end. Live actually in that, pretend like you're in a play or a movie. You're playing the part every day. You're trying to win an Oscar. I thought of, and speaking of snapshots in time, like these pictures, pretend like every moment is a snapshot. Quantum physics states, of course, that every moment actually is kind of a snapshot. So I thought of, if every moment is a snapshot, then it's almost like a photo. So how are you going to pose in that photo? How are you going to decide what you're going to do in the photo? What do you want it to look like? And what do you want it to feel like? That's why we pose in photos, because we're creating a snapshot memory of something that happened, an event. So act like that's what you're doing every moment. What do I want this moment to look and feel like? And then take that snapshot. And remember, you can create a new picture every moment. So, okay, let's generate joy. What brings me joy? Think of a scene that you're joyful in. Think of somebody congratulating you for something you just did or won or accomplished, and just live from that moment of them congratulating you. Take a snapshot photo of it and remember it in your mind, and then go back to that anytime to create joy. You can even write these things down on note cards. I love note cards. I think they're like amazing, like what do they call them? Flashcards. And just, they're there as a reminder to go back in your mind and say, hey, I took this snapshot. Here we go. I'm going to read this and go back into it in my mind. So there's so many things we can do. We just have to remember who we are and remember who we were before life happened. And we let it kind of dictate who we thought we were. And whatever's happened to you, it doesn't mean that you're that person. It does not matter. It doesn't matter what you've done. We have to learn to forgive ourselves. And that's a whole other video. Maybe a course. I need to create a course on self-forgiveness. That would be interesting. But forgiveness is just letting go of resentment. You're holding resentment in your body if you haven't forgiven. It's not for the other person, remember. It's for yourself. We're letting go of that frequency. Because if we've got that frequency in us, it is going to be mirrored back to us. I also figured out yesterday or today, I think it was yesterday or today, I can't remember. I think it was last night or something. I figured out that someone was mirroring to me in my life a belief that I have had for a long, long time. And it wasn't even a belief. It was kind of a something I was doing unconsciously, subconsciously, and I didn't even realize it until I questioned, I wonder why this person is mirroring this back to me. Oh my gosh. It just blew me away because it's going to change my life when I shift that. And I didn't even know it was there. And so you never know what is ready to come up and heal. And I guess I was just ready to see this, because maybe if I would have seen it before, maybe it would have taken me down a notch and I wouldn't have felt so good for a while. But I said, you know what? It's time to level up again. We're constantly leveling up. So every moment you get to choose if you're going to stay the old self or evolve into the new self. And I decided, I was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to do it scared. You know, we've just got to do what we got to do. And measure your life every day. Measure yourself. Say, how am I doing in all these areas? 1 to 10 or 0 to 10. Start measuring your days. Start measuring your, scan your body and figure out, okay, where's my body hurt today? What's my body trying to tell me today? Where do I feel good in my body today? It's just amazing. These scans just really showed me a lot that I'm actually changing. And again, well, these look like 2 different people. Maybe they are. I guess they really truly are, since we're different every second. Billions of times a second, we're different. Do we believe this? I don't know. Just got to try it out for yourself. You got to start changing your mind, deciding who you want to be every single second. How do you want to feel? Just commit to yourself. Show up for yourself. I think that every single client that I talk to, and a lot of friends and definitely family that I know, we're not showing up for ourselves. We've got to decide who we are and act and think and feel in congruence to that. Because if we're not showing up for ourselves, then that means we can't trust ourselves. And if you can't trust yourself, you can't expect other people to trust you, because again, they're mirroring back to you who you're being. So you've got to start loving yourself, liking yourself as a person, forgiving yourself. These are all these pieces. Because the person you want to become doesn't hold on to resentment, doesn't hold on to hatred for themselves. That's not who you truly are. That is the true self. So I had somebody list out how they want to be, and then we came up with the traits of how this person would think, act, feel. What would their values be? And then also, I want you to also think about what are the things that you're waiting to do? Because for me, I noticed that I love to dance. I always took dance classes, and I was on the Palm Squad in 6th through 8th grade. So that was like basically dancing just with palms in your hands. And it was just so much fun. And I come alive when I do some sort of physical act like that that's more like kind of choreographed, I guess. So that's why I love Taibo, because it's kind of choreographed, but it's not dancing, but it's like kicking and punching and kind of like feels like karate in a way. And it just lights me up. And so that's how I've always been as a kid, that type of movement. I love doing it. So I think that's why I love doing it now, is because it's bringing up feelings of being like a carefree kid, even though my childhood was definitely not carefree. But that feeling inside of me made me feel alive. So I want you to think about what makes you feel alive, because here's just something I've noticed, of course, too, is that when we don't feel alive, we look for things to make us feel alive externally. And I know people like with cheating on someone, let's say, they feel alive because this person laughs at them and, smiles at them, and they don't get that at home, and they get it at work, and it turns into this whole thing, but it's really the person not feeling alive inside. Also, addictions. We feel empty, not alive inside. So we look for things to fill that void. All these things, cheating, shopping, eating, drugs, alcohol, they're all solutions to a problem. They're not actually the problem itself. They're solutions that people come up with because it makes them feel distracted from their emptiness inside, possibly self-hatred as well. So that was a lot we just touched on. But the point is, all of these things, if you will relax your nervous system, which we will talk about more later, with breathing, with meditation, breathing properly and meditating every day and physical exercise and doing what I love and changing my thoughts at every moment that I possibly can and reminding myself that I'm only living moment to moment. Those are the things that have changed my whole life. And I've been doing a lot of those for a lot of years because I can't be a therapist if, in my opinion, I personally can't be a therapist and take care of all these people if I'm not taking care of myself and showing up for myself. It would be like hypocritical if I didn't do what I preach, what I teach, what I talk about. I got to take care of me first, mentally and physically. So we've got to do what we got to do to show up for ourselves first. Then we can show up for our loved ones. And it's all about unconditional love of self, living from your heart and not that head. The head doesn't know anything. It doesn't know anything. The heart knows everything. So we need to live from our hearts more. And we've got to feel safe to do that. So just keep following me and I'll keep leading and lighting the way as much as I can. And each day, I'm just learning more and more, and I'll share as I go because there's definitely a lot more to come. I'm excited about it. Very excited. Got so many ideas. And I'm finally slowing down enough to, not be as scattered. So anyway, I'll let you guys go. I could ramble more. You know it. So I will stop because I'm going to try to go to bed early again tonight. Oh, at least watch maybe something on the YouTube or something. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening or morning or whatever time it is when you catch this. And thank you so much for being here with me. I so appreciate you all. And remember, you are so loved. Pass that on to somebody who needs to hear it. And it might just be you looking in the mirror and saying it to yourself. I am loved, or I love you, whatever feels the best for you to say. And remember to appreciate yourself because what you appreciate appreciates. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.